Hello, everyone. It is great to be back here in my man cave, not needing to worry about prepping any cars for racing this week or anything like that. Getting crazy. I'm going to adjust the camera real fast. I think my tripod got kicked. No! Let's see what that looks like. Whew. So, went to the Masters of Dirt last week at Beach RC in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Had some fun. Drove back. Got back Tuesday and went right to work. I went into the track and cleaned up the track a little bit and had a couple things I had to do that I wanted to get done, and then went right back to work yesterday and today, and actually had to close tonight. So that's one reason why we started at 9:05 instead of 9 o'clock. And in the meantime, while I'm doing that, I haven't even gotten my room situated yet. But yeah, I haven't even broken down any of my off-road cars yet. They're still sitting over there. I need to get my truck changed back over to carpet for next Saturday. Looking forward to that. And while I was doing all that, I got my brand new crawling body painted on my SCX-10-2 with the Vanquish chassis. So I'm looking forward to that. I got this painted Tuesday night, and then got it mounted up yesterday, and then I kind of trimmed it up. I wanted it to sit really low, and the only thing I'm waiting on now is to get an interior. So this is the Wraith Spawn body from Axial, and you can get the interior for it still in stock. So I went ahead and ordered that so I can get my scale points. And then I'm thinking a roof rack with a bunch of stuff on it, you know, and should be pretty good. So it's exciting. You know, a new body, something kind of different, kind of cool. I'm used to having that bed in the back, but this should be. I went out and took it on our course, and it performed pretty well, and I do like the looks of it. So so far so good with that. Daniel's on here. He's asking, I wonder if I can order some blue buttons for the wing. Sure. Although I think we've carried blue before, we might already have them. I will check tomorrow. You'll have to remind me though, otherwise I'll forget. Because that's what I do, I forget stuff. Just got done eating, so I'm kind of, it's not COVID. I'm just kind of, I got that weird fast food cough. So I got to get my stickers made. So this was originally, the plan was to do the old Nissan Budweiser truck with this. So it's pretty close, and I'm gonna get HobbyPlex here and then J Concepts right here, and I think it should look pretty good. Might just leave the front alone. So. But I wanted to take a look. I got a little thing going on where my I think my Panhard mount on this truck is pushing the chassis over a little bit. So I wanted to look at that while I'm on here getting questions and stuff from you guys. So yeah, Daniel, again, he's asking if we can get blue wing buttons, and I totally will if we don't have them. Absolutely. That should not be a problem. That's an easy one that we can do. So there's 7 people on here right now. What have you guys been doing for the week? I know the Omaha area had snow, and we still had an awesome Saturday turnout. I was checking in on you guys while I was down there. We had 83 entries on Saturday for round 3 of the Syndicate. I was super excited about that. I went up to the associated team manager and was like, "Hey, dude, check this out." And I showed him my phone, and he was really impressed by how well our local scene is doing. So you guys just keep that up, and you know, we're getting noticed for not only just turnout, but just in general, how positive our racing scene has been doing. Our RC scene in general, whether it comes to crawling or drag racing. I'm going to be getting a drag racer myself here in a little bit, so I'm excited to start working on that. Should be a team associated DR10, and I'm pumped to see what I can do with that, because it's going to be exciting. So I'm happy camper. Oh. Yeah, I know, right? Should find it on Facebook. Just get on, look up our the HobbyPlex Show Facebook account. You can always post pictures on there. That's I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe that's a good way to get in contact with me, and you guys go ahead and post on there. I'm all for that. If you want to post some pics and stuff, that's awesome. Fly High Ireland UK, RC Mania Ireland UK. I am trying to look at how I'm trying to figure out why. This is going to sound really dumb, but I just transferred this chassis over. This is an original SCX-102. I put the Vanquish chassis on it, but in the front, my wheels, when they turn, they're hitting the chassis, but when I go this way, it's not. That was kind of dumb, but I already took it off. See that right there? And so what I was thinking was maybe my Panhard mount was too long and it's pushing the chassis over, but I think it's just this link. And I do that sometimes when I'm putting stuff together. I put stuff in the wrong spot, and then I figure out that it's in the wrong spot afterwards, and then I fix it, and then everything works like it's supposed to. So that is my guess on this one. If yeah, I know I can, but you can actually so in this case, you can actually see that the pumpkin is not centered with the chassis. Normally I would do endpoints, and you're totally right. But it was weird how one side was hitting the bumper and the other side wasn't. I just put this chassis on last week, so I think I'm looking at this now. I think I put a link in the wrong spot, and I bet you that'll fix it. This show's mainly just to watch me fumble around for doing stuff. So the next option for Daniel's glitching was a glitch buster. Yeah, I need. So Daniel was having a problem with his car, kind of glitching, which is weird because cars don't really glitch that much anymore with 2.4 gig. And I wasn't there to help him on Saturday because I was out of state at another race. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, a glitch buster can work if your servo is pulling too much. It can brown out everything, so that a glitch buster kind of like collects just a tiny bit of energy and makes it so that doesn't happen. It's very possible. I'll have to look at it. You have to bring it in sometime so I can see it. Fly High Ireland, what do you guys do over there? Travis is on here. What's up, Travis? Came in today, bought some stuff. Looks like you got a drone in your avatar. Oh, that's pretty sweet. So Fly High Ireland here does his own drone films. That's pretty cool. And he's got a TRX4 and a Wraith 19, and he's getting a RC4 drive Pathfinder. That's pretty rad. I still have my QX350 drone that I take up every once in a while. My son and I have a GoPro together, and we took some really good 4K video from the 4th of July this year. We took some video in 2013 with it, with my GoPro Hero 3, and at nighttime it didn't work. It didn't look very good. But with the Hero 8 in nighttime mode and everything, it was spot on. It was really cool. I tried to upload it, but for some reason it didn't like my. It didn't want to transfer over to my phone, so I kind of just kept it on file and didn't really do anything with it, other than just showing my friends, "Hey, look how cool this is." Unfortunately, the drone market is kind of tanked over here. You don't see us even really having a demand for a lot of them. And stuff like the more mainstream stuff like DJI, their margins are so bad that it's really not worth us carrying. So it's just one of those things. Basically, as soon as the FAA got involved back then, you could just see the sales go like that. Then the racing stuff kind of picked up, but even that's fallen off a whole bunch lately. Yep, that's totally what it was. Yeah, so I'm kind of dumb. So what I did was when I put this together, I don't know if you guys can see that top link right there, I had on the wrong side, and so it was pulling it off to that side, and it was kind of bound up too. My first test with this was today, so it was a little bound up, and I was kind of thinking that was kind of odd, and that seems to have fixed it. You can definitely see the pumpkin now is is right in the middle. So live and learn. I do dumb stuff like that all the time. Now, another thing in mind, I'm going to see if I can change out bumpers and get the front end approach angle even better. It's another thing I wanted to work on tonight. Fly a lot of RC airplanes. I have a Ultimate 2, E-Flight Ultimate 2, and a Extra 300. When I can get to the field, I mainly try to learn how to do 3D stuff right now. And I haven't been able to get to the field within the last like 2 or 3 months because of all the racing that we do. And then a couple of the days when I had time, it rained, and or it was super duper windy. So that always seems to happen to me around fall, is I kind of get hosed on nice days. But I like to fly because it's peaceful and relaxing, and there's no competition involved unless you want there to be, I guess. And for the most part, I don't have to talk to anybody. I can just go out there and fly and charge a bunch of batteries and get going. I want a jet. I think next year I might get a jet. I'm thinking that E-Flight F-18 looks pretty good. I thought about just ordering like a fun jet, but the price of those things compared to what I can get through the store for E-Flights just doesn't make any sense. So that's pretty sweet. Jets are real popular here. There's a lot of them at the field. Anytime Horizon comes out with a new one, we sell a bunch of them, and then there's some like fun jet and motion RC stuff out there. A lot of that stuff hasn't been brought over from oh, what's that? FMS. Yeah, the Elite. So the Elite Havoc, there's a couple guys that have them at the field, and this summer they had this weird tip stall thing going on where if they came in too slow, the jet wanted to almost flip over. It was really bizarre. And I don't know if it's just because they didn't have their stuff set up right or what, but there was 2 of them that would do that. They had to come in really hot in order to land those things. Kind of made me a little sketchy about getting one myself. I think I'm going to start out with either that oh God, what's the name of that one? It's the trainer, the Viper, or they got that new Havoc with the safe and stuff built into it. That one's supposed to be pretty easy, so I might start off with that one. Travis just asked, what's the newest old school RC you find? Like what I've personally found? Because I'll be right back. Because I just got that Team Associated T2 back there, and that's probably the newest thing I've gotten. The XXX4 that I got from Matt is in pieces right now, and I'm awaiting parts to put it together. beyond that, nothing lately. Kenny's supposed to be bringing me a T3 that he keeps telling me that he's going to bring for me. And if I get a T3, that pretty much completes the associated truck section up there. Then I would have to get newer. I'd have to find like a T4. And I found a couple T4s lately, locally, but they're all the ready-to-run ones, and I don't want the ready-to-run ones. I want the kit. So I'm actively searching for a B2 and a original rear motor 22. I can't believe that car is 10 years old now. Came out in 2010. I found one the other day at on the Fastlane Raceway. So Fastlane's a track in Kansas City, Missouri. And this guy was wanting to sell one, but he wanted way too much money for it. So I had to pass. So I have these two Wordy made bumpers. This one is fairly new that I purchased for this truck. And when I'm out there crawling, I feel like it sticks out too far. And this is my Wordy made bumper that I had on my Enduro, my Team Associated Enduro. And you can see the difference there. So I think I'm going to stick this guy on here and keep this one for another project at another time. I'm probably going to get another SCX10 2 builder's kit eventually, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, Travis, I don't know if you saw this or not, but where'd he go? I'm gonna get the, oh. So this is a Team Associated V3 that a buddy of mine picked up for me at a auction. And what sucks is they had a whole bunch of different cars there that if I had any money and I didn't have to race that day, I would have actually traveled to this auction. It was like 4 hours away and bid on a lot more. But this is the gem that he found. And what's crazy about this car is the wing mount. So when I want to change out the wing, I can. But it's basically complete. So this thing's ready to go, man. If I wanted to compete in a vintage class or something, this car would be one of the ones I would choose from. I actually have a double X back there that's also complete. So it'd have to come down to me, again, choosing which brand I would run. But this thing's in really good shape. There's some rust in the back. You can kind of see that. And, you know, that'll buff out. But, you know, the diff balls and the diff rings, you can still find all that stuff for this car. The idler gear is the same. It's like a DR10, I believe. You know, the motor's locked up, but whatever. You can still find the spur gears. So this car's probably one of the better shaped ones that I've been able to add. Plus the battery strap. It's so difficult to find old stuff and still have the battery strap. That's one of the pieces that seems to get lost all the time. So I'm pretty happy with that. And if Kenny gets me his T3, that'll have the B3 and the T3. And I believe J Concepts makes bodies for both of them. so that I can get new bodies for them and get them painted up on my paint scheme. So I'm actually kind of regretting the way that I built those shelves behind me. I thought 3 would be enough. Clearly it's not, and it's too late now because they're pretty permanent. But I've looked at it. I think I can add spots pretty easily. But again, clearly I'm not an engineer. So when I was doing that, it was all like a hack job. That's a not a I'm not a carpenter, clearly, but it works for what it is. So my hope is that this thing becomes an indoor crawling beast for this winter. We did our first Tuesday night crawling on the indoor because it was too cold on Tuesday. That was another reason why I went right to work after coming back from Myrtle Beach was, I didn't want to have a crawling night skipped. So Matt Veldman was there. I was there. There was this kid. I can't remember his name. I think it's, is it Jalen? Maybe. We had him scored, and the indoor is going to be a project that I'm going to put some more time into. So one of the better videos that is on my YouTube channel is of last year's 2019 indoor crawling area, and I did it in December of 2019. So I want to move around some stuff. I'm going to bring in some more rock and maybe build a couple new things, and then do another video and kind of show it off. The cool thing about building the indoor stuff is that you don't have to be a carpenter because it doesn't have to be perfect for crawling. It just has to work. It just has to be an obstacle. So you waste a lot of wood and just put stuff together that you think might look cool and let it rip. Yeah, one of the things I'm going to fix on the indoor is the chicken bridge. So it's a PVC bridge that's bent because it's PVC, right? So you can bend it. And then I wrapped it in chicken wire, and it provided a pretty good base for your tires to grab. But I did make it really skinny, and so there was quite a bit of whining last year about how hard it was. So I'm going to take that apart and redo it and not make it so difficult. Because it's not fun if you can't complete something. So I totally get it. But at the same time, this stuff's got to be kind of hard, right? Otherwise you don't learn anything. So we should be back Monday for the podcast. It'll be live on YouTube around 6:30. As this Monday I was on the road. We took off from Myrtle Beach Sunday night. Got to Asheville, North Carolina. So it was about 4.5 hours of driving. Spent the night and then took off. And with all that that ice and stuff that was going on in Missouri and Oklahoma, I didn't feel like driving through any of that. And so we actually went up to Cedar Rapids, spent the night with our in-laws, my in-laws, and then Tuesday left pretty early and got home a couple hours earlier than I had intended. So we were trying to split up the trip into halves. So we drove like 11.5 hours one way, stopped, and then drove the next 10 hours the other way. When we were coming back, we didn't quite want to do that, and made the driving not as long. Monday was long, but at least Tuesday was just, we've done that drive, every holiday, so it wasn't that bad. Daniel, the lightweight car body good for racing, or will it fall apart quickly? On a 4-wheel drive off-road car, I think the lightweight body's fine. On a touring car, if you hit a lot of stuff with a lightweight body, the body's going to break up a lot. But since you don't have a touring car and you've got a 4-wheel drive off-road, those bodies don't get beat up that much. So I'd say go for it. It's definitely nice to have the lightweight body. Nothing wrong with that at all. There's a question here. I just saw several videos released today on the Mini B. Are those going to be a class race too? Looks like they're RTR. Abso-freaking-lutely. I'm going to get one. I was super excited about that. The Mini Ts are cool, but the fact that the B is just a tad bit longer and is a buggy, I think that's pretty rad. So yes, totally, absolutely. If we get, if we get enough of them, we'll split them up into their own class. If it starts out with like 2 or 3 guys, we'll just put them in with the Mini Ts and see what happens from there. But I would love it. The more the merrier. Not going to turn anybody away that wants to race on the carpet off-road. And I can't wait to get one. So I'm excited. I'm a buggy guy. I like racing buggies. What's the difference of the other one, or is this? Well, basically the Mini B is longer, so it has a longer chassis. That's why it's a 1/16 scale instead of 1/18 scale. But it uses like 70% of the same parts as a Mini T, which is good for us because then we don't have to carry as much new stuff. So that'll be really good. So it'll be a tad bit longer. I bet you they're using the same arms. Of course, the front tires are skinnier. It's a buggy, so it's got a wing and a body. But I think the motor and the speed controller and all that stuff's basically the same. So I'm excited for it. I was pretty stoked to see that. Full disclosure, they told us about them a couple days ago, and I didn't know they were going to be announced today, but they were. So that's pretty neat. All right, let's see what this bumper looks like. So one thing I had on my Element was just the approach angle was really good. I had this really short, stubby bumper in the front, and it made it so when you're coming up to stuff, you know, you didn't get hung up near as easily. So I think this bumper is going to work better on this truck. I was thinking about chopping the chassis and trying to jam it more this way, but I don't know if I want to cut a Vanquish chassis since they're kind of expensive. And it wouldn't leave me much room to bolt it in too. So I don't know if that's a good idea. I might just have to do. Let's see. They have not been released yet, so I don't know how to pronounce your name. Stephen. I'm guessing Stephen CHL. We don't have them yet. We might be getting one to do like an unboxing on. I was kind of surprised because Horizon does this thing where they'll send out early release stuff to certain shops the day that stuff is announced, and they did that with the Mini T. That's why we're able to do our unboxing on it that day, and you know, got a lot of looks on YouTube because of that. So I was kind of like hoping we'd get one today, but it looks like this car is not part of that program, so we didn't get one. But it's possible we might be able to get one. We'll have to wait and see. Otherwise, we'll just get them when everybody else gets them. And we have a whole bunch of them on order. We also got a whole bunch of the B17 Bettys, SCX24s on order as well. So they're making a limited amount of those, and we should be getting a whole bunch. So I'm excited for that. The SCX1024s sell so well. I mean, they're $119 or whatever they are, and they work really good. And there's all sorts of cool hop-ups, like Hot Racing makes a whole bunch. We've got some RC four-wheel drive stuff coming now. So it's pretty exciting. And you know, these releases were going to be coming out eventually, you know, due to Christmas coming soon. We're in fourth quarter officially. So, you know, they got those big fourth quarter releases, even with COVID and the production problems. You know, they're still able to push out a lot of these new kits and stuff. So I'm excited to see what else comes out. Daniel asked if there will be a brushless for the 16th. I'm guessing it's the same system as what's in the Mini T. We got a whole bunch of them. So yes. Travis, we do not have DR10 kits in yet. It's weird because like the 4 kits that we had sat on the shelf for literally like 2 months, and everybody just kind of went, it's a kit. And then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of kits got bought. So we had them, and then we sold them. And now they're out of stock. So we did get the ready-to-runs, not the purple one, but we do have the green and orange ones back in, but no kits yet. Sorry. The buggies? The buggies are going to race on carpet, dude. That's going to be fun. I might just stop racing truck and just race the 1/16 buggy. Dude, it's going to look sick with my paint scheme on it. I'm like super happy about that. That'd be awesome. Yeah, this body's growing on me too. So, you know, this is a Wraith Spawn body. It's been around for a long time. And the body I really wanted, the Subaru Brat from Charisma, was out of stock, of course. And I thought about what body I could go with that not a lot of people have right now locally. And this one, another reason why I liked it was it's dovetailed front and rear. See that? So again, you know, I want to be able to sneak through gates and not hit stuff as much as possible. And I thought it's an interesting SUV body with the dovetail. They make an interior for it, so I'll be able to get the points. I'll be able to put a roof rack on it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be all right. I tried it out today outside, and it seemed to do pretty well. So I like it. Got to get the stickers for it though. Caden Berrien's on here. What's up, Caden? Caden just got done winning, I believe, 13.5 Stadium Truck at the J Concepts Indoor Carpet National Series, whatever they call that, up in Minnesota. So he did awesome. He's a previous Plex Spec champ, I believe 2017. And now he's kicking everybody's butt in truck and mod buggy and stock buggy. (2017). See, I knew I was close because I think Jake Wiggs actually won it in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. And then it was Caden Berrien, and then to be honest, I don't know who won it in 18. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe Jake did it in 18. I know Bob won it one year, I think 19. Daniel asks if he can run, should he run Plex Spec with his 13.5 four-wheel drive buggy. I mean, if you want to, dude, you know, that's a long ways off. So, you know, possibly by then your skill set might be too good for Plex Spec, and you might be competitive in 13.5 four-wheel drive. So the best thing to do is to race this winter on the carpet, enter our big race in February, which I can't officially announce yet, but I will be able to soon, I hope. And then we'll see what happens from there, right? Don't forget, you got the Spring Champs, the Pro Tech Off-Road Championships, April 24th, 25th, 26th, I think. And you can run Plex Spec in that one, but you got to have a two-wheel drive. That's the rule. So, yeah, we'll have to talk about it. We can talk about it. If you need to get a rent-a-ride for that, I'm sure we can find you one. And then just see what happens. It's cool winning Plex Spec. Emerson won Plex Spec 2014. And, you know, part of what makes the HobbyPlex race program work is getting new people into it via our Plex Spec beginner class. And then, you know, 10 to 20% of those guys stick around and they move on to, you know, independent buggy or 13.5 wheeler or stadium truck, something like that. So it's good stuff. Travis is on here and he's saying he's got to get back to the garage, so we'll check with him later. Zach, is the dirt track open tomorrow? Well, kind of. So I officially work in the store at noon, but I do have some work to do out there. There's a couple of spots I want to get filled in before racing tomorrow night. So I'm going to try to get there at like 9 o'clock and do what I need to do with the tamper and just make sure the track is ready to go. So officially on Fridays, it's not supposed to open till 4 o'clock, but the way things are looking, I'll probably let people out there if they come to practice. So anytime after 12, you should be fine, but we are racing tomorrow night. So you got until about 6:30 and then they start racing right at 7. So Family Friday off-road. I love Family Friday. bunch of people that come to race Plex spec, plus some of us that come to race, but we don't, you know, whatever. But for the most part, none of those people give a crap about how the track is or anything. They just want to race. They just show up and race, and have fun, and not worry about, you know, something doesn't work right, or a light's out or something like that, you know. I think Emerson and I should be there tomorrow to race Mod 2 wheel, unless he doesn't want to. So I'm going to get this truck ready to go. We got 45 minutes in, so I got another half hour before I'll probably get out of here. Actually have a gear diff for my truck here. I've been running with the ball diff, which is fine, but you can burn them up really easy. And surprisingly, I haven't chunked out this ball diff, so I thought for sure I would, but alas, I haven't. So go figure. But to get the ride height correct on this truck, I have to change out the shock bottoms to the zeros, and I had changed them back because we were going to race this truck at the Masters of Dirt, and then we kind of changed our mind. We just had too many cars to worry about to add one more to it, so kind of just made a decision to set it off to the side. And I think it was probably the right decision, because we were pretty overwhelmed as it was with tires. You know, we had to make slicks, and we had to make quite a few sets of them to stay on top of the tire game. So adding one more car to the whole deal would have been bleh. Jackson's on here. He says I should have had my wife race truck. That was a good idea. That would, maybe she would have been maybe she would have not been so bored at the track. She's raced Plex spec before with us, with our Slash. Thought that was pretty fun. Yeah, so my wife does not like going to races anymore. When we were still dating, she didn't mind it. I think she was still trying to impress me, and we went to a lot of races together. And then once we got married, that pretty much came to a stop. We still went to a couple races, but not very many. For instance, the Stock Nats, you know, you were there for 5 days. She drove down on Sunday on main day. Didn't stay the whole time. But since we've had a kid who's now 14, she's maybe gone to 2 races, 2 big races with us. Oh, no, it's more than that. Because, like, there was a couple nitro races we went to a couple years in a row. So, but lately, the only one I can think of is this one that we went to just now, and the Factory Tracks invite race a couple years ago at Leisure Hours Raceway. So on this truck, because we're trying to run the ride height so low, the spring perches is what they're actually called. You know, Associated gives you a long, medium, and a short. So you can see that that's the one you know would normally put on your truck for off-road, for dirt. But for carpet, you got to run, to get the right height, you got to run that one. So there's a massive difference. What is that? That's like, that looks like about maybe 6, 7 millimeters, 8 millimeters. And that's because on the truck, you just want to get that thing as low as you can so it doesn't flip over. So Daniel says that he won't be able to run Plex spec. At the spring race. We'll see. We'll see what happens when we get there. That's a long ways away. Or at least it feels like it should be a long ways away. It's pretty amazing how quickly time passes if you really think about it. You would think April's a long ways away, and then you realize it's only like 6 months. Steven says his son's 8th tomorrow will be his second family Friday. He's so excited. We have a Centon. What is the transition like to a buggy? How different of a learning curve to drive a buggy from a truck eventually? So for a Centon, because it's a 4-wheel drive short course truck, right? 4-wheel drives tend to jump a little bit differently. You can kind of send a Centon a little bit, and it'll a little bit harder and stuff in the corners. I think buggies generally require a little bit more of a finesse type touch. I love racing buggy, even when I suck at it, like this weekend in the main at 40 plus. I totally laid an egg, but I still enjoyed it, even though I didn't look like I enjoyed it. Just because they are 2-wheel drive is just a little harder to drive is all. And not in a bad way. It's just that it's you can't just, because they're not 4-wheel drive, you can't just send it in and then pin the throttle and pull yourself out of it. You have to kind of set up for a corner and let the car get the traction it needs and then go. And then, you know, transition to the next part and then go. It jumps differently too. Your Centon probably likes to jump kind of nose down a lot. So you peg the throttle to keep it. Buggies, I would say, actually probably jump easier. You know, there's a way to approach a jump with throttle and kind of blip it and let that chassis go against the jump, levelly out, and land. So that's a long answer, but they definitely drive different. Yeah, a 4-wheel drive buggy like Daniel's gotten would be a good choice. That's a good way to go from, you know, a ready to run into something a little bit more racy. The 13.5 class is fun because you won't have guys like, you know, pros like Tom Rinderneck or Mason Fuller racing 13.5 wheeler. There's a good mixed bag of some stock, you know, experts, and then you'll have regular Joes racing that class. And then if you get yourself a 2-wheel drive, you can race independent stock buggy which I highly recommend because that's just regular people. No sponsors are allowed, so they're buying their own stuff just like everybody else is. So if you can find a good used two-wheel drive buggy to go from that Centon to the next step, I think that'd be a great way to go. And plus they look cool. And the other thing too is these cars are so tough now. You know, if you take a B6, you know, with your metal chassis and carbon fiber shock towers and just the way that the arm supports, you know, are made of metal. You can get the aluminum front bulkhead. If you take this and compare it to what we used to run, take my my Triple X here. So this is a car from like 2000 to like 2009. This was the main car, right? Well, these plates right here, we used to break these all the time, right here, and you know, they were tough, but they weren't near as tough as what we have today. So we used to break these plates all the time. The front bulkhead on my stuff was something I always used to get aluminum. I think Trendy made them. Racer's Edge used to make them. But even the front spindles and stuff, the front arms, you bust pretty easily. We've got it really nice now. You know, these cars were tough. They were way tougher than their predecessors, but the cars we have now, even in the two-wheel drive, man, they're just very, very tough cars. So for a beginner, you know, getting a two-wheel drive is a really good way to go. And nothing wrong with four-wheel drive buggy either. But the two-wheel drive, you'll be able to race in one of the slower classes, like independent stock buggy instead of expert stock buggy. I hope that made sense. Sometimes I ramble. Yeah, look up Tanner Anthony's on here. Hello. Nick Pavel's on here. Hello. A good use site, if you get on Facebook, is MHOR. Find it here. So one of the guys I know in Denver, Chad Brockman's got a shop, and he's got this site, and it's called More RC Used Case Deals. And there's always stuff on here popping up. A lot of race stuff, B6s. There's 22X4. There's an X-Ray. There's a B61 roller, a Mini T, RC10 GT. Oh, it's ready to run. Yeah. So yeah, there's all sorts of cool stuff on there. Wow. So yeah, that's a good way to do it. And keep an eye locally. There's always guys selling stuff, myself included. I tend to sell off my cars once a year just to get new ones, you know, kind of weird like that. Did I ever get an Axial SCX24? Not yet. Not yet. That B17 Betty looks pretty cool though, so maybe. They're limited edition as well, so it's kind of tempting. get it. This diff feels empty. I don't know if I should put that in there yet. Okay, I'm gonna put my wheels back on. Otherwise, I'm gonna forget. That's another thing I'd like to do is try to set up a STX24 crawling area. I think that'd be pretty sweet. Our problem is space. It might have to be out on the dirt track. I kind of have an idea where I want to put it. It's too bad. So a long time ago, in 2008, the first time that we ever had a crawling course, we had these like movable panels. They were really heavy because they're made of like concrete and stuff. But you could take these panels and you could change out the crawler layout every week. I really wish back then we had video like we do now, because there'd be, you know, YouTube video on it. Unfortunately, that was back then. But a lot of those panels would have been perfect. I mean, absolutely perfect for the STX24. Eventually, when we took that space out, because the crawling scene kind of went away for a little while, we actually gave those panels away. I kind of feel bad now. And then the guy gave them away to try to sell them on 402 RC Club. I was a little butthurt about that. I was like, really, dude? There is a video somebody brought up from the Midwest Challenge, and I go back and look at it every once in a while. It's that course was so hard. I never made it past like one gate. It was terrible. But there was actually the outside on our outdoor course, we have this big concrete panel that it's kind of vertical. It's pretty easy to get up now. But at this event, it was at a much steeper angle, and it was very difficult to get up. Only like 1 or 2 people made it. See if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Oh, there's a couple of videos. Oh, you know what? That's not it. It would have been. Would have been before that. Or was it after that? It's 2009. Oh, here you go. It's got 20,000 views. Terrible music. That's one of the big pet peeves of mine about YouTube. That's why I'm so leery about adding music to any of my videos, is if the music is no good, then like, who wants to sit there and listen to that the whole time? Let's see if I can find a good. Yeah, here you go. Wait, hold on. This might not transfer over very well. go find this video. The local crawling club, Nebraska Scale Crawler Association, built all these courses, and we shut down our carpet track for a weekend, and they came in and put all these courses together. And yeah, you should watch the video. This was way back in, I believe, 2009. I made it past that gate and that gate, and then I got stuck. I never made it past that. And I thought this course that you're seeing right now would be the one that that I would make it through with my truck back then. And nope, it was terrible. Oh, here you go. See all those? Those are our panels. So yeah, look at that. Isn't that cool? That's where our crawler course used to be inside. It was over in the corner. And there were these panels that you could change out. And they were all molded from like concrete and mesh. It was really neat stuff. That was in the very early days of crawling. Back when we had the Axial AX10. It was really neat. Makes me wonder what if the stuff that we have now would have been able to get through it then. The thing is those were all 2.2 rigs, so they're big. That was basically like class 3, and I don't know. It'd be interesting. Oh, thank you, John Haas. Yeah, the current track layout's pretty cool. I'm I think next Monday night and Tuesday I'm going to make a slight adjustment to the hump right in front of the driver's stand because of the blind spot that's created now. But I didn't want to do anything this week because I didn't want to accidentally damage the dirt oval since that's ready to go for Sunday. They're having their first dirt oval race on Sunday. So I didn't want to mess with that, so it'll have to wait. We'll just have to go through one more Friday with that kind of blind spot that comes right at you. I don't like blind spots on our track. We have such a high driver stand, we should never have a blind spot ever. But yeah, I agree. The rest of the track's pretty fun. You got 2 weeks. November 8th, 9th, 10th. The track will be closed to get it ready for the nitro racing this winter. So I thought I brought my book in with me, but I didn't. But the track layout's up here. I kind of get to just enjoy it next week. Think about all the work I'm going to have to do. And then get to it. Stephen, yes, they are. liverc.com. So you can actually go to liverc.com and go to, I'll show you guys how to do that. So liverc.com, and then you click on live events, and it brings you to the track list. And then once you get there, if you type in HobbyPlex, you'll get HobbyPlex Raceway. Make sure you click on the correct HobbyPlex, the original, since there's 2 now apparently. HobbyPlex Raceway, right there at the top. And if you click on that, you can get this page. And when you do that, you click on at the top there, it says view results from other events. And when you click on that, it gives you all of our races since we've started using live time. So there's 5 years of racing on this if you want to go through it all. And when you do that, you can find Family Friday Offer. I don't know if you guys can, there, it should be right there. And when you click on that, that gets you to all the results from that night's racing. So I don't really worry about posting them on, you know, Facebook or anything like that, because that's where you can find the race results. That's why we don't make like paper race results anymore to pin up on the board, because you don't need to, because pretty much everybody has a smartphone, and you can find them while you're sitting in your pits. So Live RC is a valuable tool. That's why we use Lifetime. One of the reasons why we use Lifetime as our scoring engine. And it's pretty awesome to be able to go back and look at results as far back as 2015. So coming up on almost 6 years, we've been using Lifetime. Before that, we used RC Scoring Pro, which is a fine program. Just the internet interface thing is pretty cool. So Jackson's on here. He said needs to measure his turnbuckle build, shocks, and ball diff. Then I'm done with my kit. Really, I'm feeling lazy. I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, I hear you, dude. I haven't even touched my off-road cars since coming back. I might just throw some tires on them tomorrow and just go race. Call it good. If we have any tires with tread on them. We might not even have any tires with tread on them, in which case I don't feel like buying tires right now. Jackson says shocks are annoying. Yeah. Turnbuckles are the worst. When I'm building a kit, a lot of times I'll get to the page with the turnbuckles and I'll just be like, and I'll skip it and I'll move on to something else. But you got to do them. All right. That's about it for now. I actually don't have to get my truck done until next week because we don't have carpet racing for Halloween. Hope you guys enjoy or have a nice Halloween. If your local community is having it, that is. Hopefully they are. A couple questions here. Will you eventually have to replace turnbuckles when they wear out? No, not really. Just the ends. Just the rod ends themselves. If it starts getting too sloppy, if you ever pop off a ball cup during a race, you should probably replace that ball cup before you race again. But the actual metal turnbuckle, nah, not unless they bend, right? 8 scale tires at the Plex. Which ones are good? I'm new. So 8 scale tires are clay compound positrons, electrons, clay compound ellipses from J Concepts, and clay compound scribbles. And if you can find them still, like barcodes, not barcodes, typos from AKA. Mainly the clay compound stuff is what you're looking for, and then any of the bar or a web type tire. They work the best from your favorite brand. I prefer J Concepts ellipses, but I know that positrons and scribbles work pretty good. Just hopped in for Ashton. Any big changes for round 1? Of course, it's a 10 scale layout right now. It'll be an 8 scale layout when we get to the series. I'm putting that layout in the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I should say, of get to November, the 8th, 9th, 10th, and possibly the 11th. So yes, it'll be quite different. It'll be very 8-skill friendly. So I don't have to listen to anybody whine. That's the biggest thing. For 10-scale racing, 10-scale layout. For 8-scale racing, 8-scale layout. Still have to have a way through everything for the Friday nighters, though. It's not fair to them to have something so big that, you know, they can't make it, because then it's no fun. So, but yeah, I was going to show the layout off tonight, but I left my book at work. So you guys will just have to wait. Yeah, I didn't want to race on Halloween. We could have, but Emerson's 14, so his days of participating in Halloween and getting candy are coming to an end, especially since he's getting a lot taller and looking more like a young adult instead of a young kid. So I wanted to be around for that. So that's why we're not racing on Saturday. I think we got 4 years of not landing on Halloween after that, so we'll be all right. Emerson's sole purpose is to go out and get me Reese's peanut butter cup. And I only have maybe one more year of that. I'm going to tell a funny story in our podcast on Monday about Halloween. I'll try to remember to remind myself. Really funny story. Yeah, the great thing about the Reese's is that he doesn't like them. So all the ones that he get, I get. It's great. That's why I'm fat. What is different in 8-scale and 10-scale layout? What makes them special? Okay, so basically, that's a very good question, and one I'm glad to answer. So 10-scale racing, we like a little bit more technical of a layout. You know, we don't like stuff that's just a lot of back and forth, or stuff that's too simple, right? We also, 10-scale racers tend to not like massive, huge jumps. If they're built right, I actually love big jumps with my like mod car. It's when they're not built right that it kind of stinks. So 10-scale tracks, you usually find a little bit more twisty stuff, slower corners, tighter corners. You know, besides our track, a really good track to look at that always has really good 10-scale layouts is OCRC in California. A good video to watch is the Reedy race. So like when I'm working my stuff and I got my TV on, a lot of times I'll bring up previous Reedy races and just let them run. And those are really good 10-scale layouts. An 8-scale layout will have try to have longer stretches of a front straightaway or a back straightaway, so the guys can clean out their engines, get some speed. The jump faces and the jumps landings should be farther apart because they're bigger cars and they go a little bit faster. So you want them to have the jump spaced out a little bit more. Not as technical as stuff. Those guys tend to not like stuff that's real tight and twisty. You can still have a technical 8-scale layout, but you can make it in a way that's technical because of the obstacles, not so much the tightness of the actual lanes, right? A really good 8-scale layout is, I think, is our 2018 Electric Off-Road Nationals. I think that was a pretty good layout. It had just enough technicality to it, and it had a big jump, and had this really cool step up, and it had a nice long straightaway. Another, if you want to, we don't have the space for it, but if you want to look up on YouTube the Dirt Nitro Challenge, that's an 8-scale track, and Joey Christensen is really good at building 8-scale tracks, any tracks really, but their 8-scale layouts have these big, massive jumps, but they've got all this space, right? So we've got 150 by 75 to work with. Most of the time, he's going to have like 250 by 100 to work with, right? But the dirt tracks always have a real flow where you'll go and then you'll hit something, then there'll be a corner, and then you'll jump really far and land, and then jump really far and then land and turn and jump really far. If he does do anything technical, it's usually like a almost like a whoop section in Supercross that you'll have to pick your way through, whether you're double or double triple or single in some cases. But it's always difficult to find the balance at the Plex between an all-out 8-scale track and the amount of space we have, because we've got the off-road track. We have a dirt oval that races every couple weeks. In the wintertime, we can't jack with that. So we have to find a way to give the 8-scale guys their airtime, right? But still give the Friday night beginner crowd a track that they can drive on. And then you've also got to integrate the dirt oval. So the HobbyPlex has a very unique situation that not a lot of places have to deal with. So what I have planned should be pretty good for everything. And the hard part, the even harder part, is we're having a 10-scale race, a big one, in February, when I normally try to not have anything 10-scale because we have our 8-scale series, right? So we got to make a track for November, December, January. Then at some point I got to make a 10-scale track-ish for this big race we're going to have in February. And then 2 weeks later, I got to make sure that it's ready for the 8-scale crowd again. So it's a lot of work, but we'll make it work. So hopefully that answers your question. Basically, 10-scale tracks, smaller jumps, a little bit more technical, slower areas. 8-scale tracks, bigger jumps, not as technical, able to be a little bit faster in a lot of spots. Right? So in 2012, 13, and 14, we held the Scotty Ernst short course shootout and the Byron's 8-scale off-road race in back-to-back weeks. So we would make I believe we did the 10-scale race first. So we'd have the short course shootout one week, and then that following week, so we'd race Friday, Saturday, Sunday, do all the awards and everything. Then that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and sometimes Thursday, I had to make sure to rearrange the track to work with 8-scale. So I would come up on paper with a track that could do both, right? So you'd have, okay, well, this is what we're going to do, and then all I got to do is go in and change it for this. and that was a lot of work because that was back to back. Nowadays, I don't schedule anything that way. I try to give myself some time to recover because I'm old and my back doesn't hold up as well. Oh, really? Was it good? I'll have to listen. Extra Lap podcast on Wednesday. Okay. Your Meatball. That's a great name. I like that name. I'm going to go to bed here soon. I'll have to get it on my phone and listen. I don't know what to do with this thing. It sticks out too far. I just sell it. Nah, I won't do that. I got to get another crawler. Maybe I can make this work on my Jeep. Either way. Okay. I'm going to bed because I got to get up early and work on the track tomorrow. Speak of the devil. So. Nice. So yeah, so I'll be out there tomorrow morning. Basically, all the wet spots, I'm going to try to throw a bunch of dry dirt in and smooth them out a little bit so they're not so muddy for everybody on Friday night. Should be really good. So I will see you guys all later if you're local. If not, I'll try to catch you next week, or you can listen to our podcast live as it happens on YouTube on Mondays at 6:30. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.